So hello and welcome to Film Mixologist, the place on the internet thingy where crazy things kind of make sense. Case in point, what I've got here at the moment, so I've got two completely different carbs, which is this one. This is a Zenit VN2, and here we got the classic, 500 CFM Holley. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically do like a batch rebuild, so I'm going to rebuild these carbs simultaneously. Now I know that might seem a little bit crazy, but it makes more sense than what it seems. Why? Because, for example, when I'm kind of taking the units apart, I just bag them in differently, and also when I, for example, clean them on the ultrasonic cleaner or whatever, what's going to happen is, because none of the parts are interchangeable between these two units, then there's no risk of me kind of getting confused with parts. That's why especially if you are doing carbs from the same brand and that kind of stuff, I wouldn't advise you to kind of do them like this. But because these units are so different to each other, then that makes doing them as a batch kind of a lot more feasible. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you very briefly what we're working with, and I'm going to start the disassembly process of these units. This is a VN2 carb. I think it's kind of, I can see already that I think this this idle mixture screw might need a bit of attention because it's a bit bent, but that's fine. We can always change it, put a new one. But it seems like a nice little core for rebuild. At least it is complete and it's not too bad. Notice the condition it's in, because I deployed my secret cleaning mechanism on this one. And this one is your good old kind of 500 CFM Holley. There we go. 50% 50cc accelerator pump. No, that's neat. So yeah, so this is going to be like a standard Holley rebuild and a standard Zenith rebuild. So I'm just going to do the two of them at the same time, because obviously time is of the essence, and I need space for other projects in the workshop. Okay, let's do a roundup of these units, what we found so far after the disassembly process. So started with the Zenith. As you can see, the fuel bowl is actually pretty decent. And I'm sure this carb is going to clean out rather well. I found no issues so far. One of the things that you do need to bear in mind though is that when you're trying to test this carb, if the primary shaft has play, so the shaft that goes here basically, if you want to test them for play, what you need to do is you need to clean them thoroughly, both the shaft and the body, because here it is, I was looking for it. So because at the moment it could be that it fits snug, but no, it doesn't fit snug because it's good. It might fit snug because it's all dirty, so you need to clean it before you can test it. Let's go through the Holley now. Well, obviously these throttle plates are going to need kind of replating, which I'm going to do a video especially about replating all sorts of things very soon, so that would need to be done. But apart from that, obviously kind of taking off the gaskets, but this unit is like in really good condition, so I think this is going to be a relatively straightforward build. So now what I need to do is I need to take the spouts and clean them properly. Okay, so I think I'm finally ready to put the Holley, Holley 2-barrel together. But before I do that, I know I've said it in this channel for a million times, but here it goes for the 1,000,001th time. If you haven't seen a carb kind of on top of an engine going down the road and fueling correctly, you have to assume that the configuration is wrong. Just straight out of the door, it's wrong. Because what you need to do is you need to check in the manual and always check what components the carb came in with. Yeah. So case in point, this carb. Look at this. So power valve was correct. So it had a 50 power valve, but look at this. This power valve, what happens is that the kind of the rubber inside the valve goes kind of brittle and it doesn't work very well. So I'm going to replace it with this one is a 4.5 power valve, which is fine. I mean, 0.5 kind of either side of the standard is okay. But look at the jets. So the jets, again, they were 66. What was there, and if you look at the manual, it wants 73. That's a lot of difference. Yeah, so this carb, I don't know, it wouldn't have run very well if at all. So I'm going to put 72. I'm going to lean them out just a touch. Again, one or two numbers kind of either side of what the manual says is okay. But when you start going beyond that, that's like not good. So now what I need to do is I need to just kind of slam this unit together, and I've got a choke that came with this carb. So I think I'm gonna put it with the manual choke just to be, just to put it complete, just in case a customer, wants it with the choke. Okay, now I'm putting the Zenit carb, this kind of VN2 together. But before we do that, we need to go over, a few details that are important for this particular build. And I need to bring you kind of closer with the camera. Okay, and here is a couple of modifications to note. First of all, I kind of measured this, and basically the shaft and the carb, they are good in terms of we haven't got a lot of play here, which is good. So what I did, the only thing I'm going to do I do is cut a pocket, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to install an O-ring there, and that's going to act as a sealant for the shaft, just to make sure we get a good sealing action on the shaft. And what I did is I did quite a lot of modifications in the shaft. So let's put these two shafts side by side. So this will be like with the original screws and the back bit. As you can see, this one, what I have done, is I cut as much material as I dared. So in here I've got some stuff, here cut some stuff, so which whilst this one hasn't got that, you see. And then in here, as you can see, I've enlarged slightly the pockets here and here compared to here and here. So because what I'm trying to achieve with this is for the throttle shaft to have much less restriction to airflow than this one. So therefore this carb is going to have, you know, a little bit more capacity at kind of wide open throttle, just because there's less of a restriction for the air to just flow through here. So let me start kind of slamming this unit together and I'll show you kind of midway how am I doing. Okay, so I think we have a good base to work on now. I'll show you all the kind of sub-assemblies of this carb before I start, you know, slamming it back together. So as you can see, this is kind of the final result kind of on the throttle plate. Got it there. There we go. And it is kind of much lower profile, so there's a lot more air that's gonna kind of flow through there, which is good. Obviously, these gaskets, you need to put these rivets in there, which to be honest are a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's a measure of quality. Also, I had to do a brand new this kind of like power valve vacuum sensitive thing going on there, which is all good. Obviously new idle mixture screw which came with the kit, and this is the basically fuel bowl assembly. So you've got here which is the kind of accelerator pump. You've got this kind of metering block with the jets underneath. You've got the float, and you've got this kind of little unit there. So that's it. That's all you need to kind of put the carb together. And obviously now we need to start working on the actual linkage and all of those bits to, you know, make it good. Okay, so I think I'm finished. Look at this. So we've got now kind of the choke that actuates like this, and the flap is a bit lazy, but that's okay. And then we've got the accelerator pump that's like that, and it has pretty crisp return, which you always need in carbs. I always think that they should have a little ring to them, but this is actually pretty neat now. So I think this is now ready to go. I'll show you a bit around close. So there we go, VN2, lovely. So choke actuates like this, and then throttle like that. Let's look at it this way. There you go, golden. So yeah, so I think this is now a pretty good result, and the only thing we need to do now is just, you know, pack it away and send it to the customer. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this slightly different episode and kind of getting two things that really don't relate to each other. But the good thing about them is that doing it this way kind of allows you to kind of, you don't lose any pieces, and that is quite important. And also when you've got, for example, if you do like me, that I have a tray, you can just put all the parts, and it's very easy to tell them apart which parts are which. So it's actually it makes more sense than what it seems. Anyway, I want to say thank you very much for watching this episode, and I'll see you on the next episode.